What's up, YouTube? Drew here, and I am so excited to bring you guys this beautiful 1996 Toyota Cresta. This is a JZX100, which of course means it's powered by a JZ engine. It's the 1JZ, the 2.5 liter version of the 2JZ, which came to the United States in the Supra, the Lexus SC300, the Lexus GS300, and as everybody knows, is an absolutely fantastic motor. So it's important to note right off the bat. So JZX100, 100 means 10th gen. This car is based on a Mark II, which came out way back when to be slightly below the Toyota Crown. And we know it, very well, of course, as a Mark II, but also the kind of less luxury but more sporty version of it is the Toyota Chaser, which of course the vast majority come with the 1JZ GTE, which is turbocharged, and a decent amount of them came with stick shifts, and they're awesome cars. This is a luxury version. It's a higher end version of a Mark II. So basically they have Chaser, which is sporty, Mark II, which is in the middle, and Cresta, which is ultra luxury. Speaking of which, this car leaves me wanting nothing, and I've spent many kilometers behind the wheel of JZS 155 Crowns. That's what I'd say this car drives like. It's very Crown-esque in the way it handles. It rides like an absolute dream. It's smooth, it's quiet, and the first thing I want to show you guys that's different than your Crestas and your Mark IIs is that this does not have frameless windows. Now, frameless windows are obviously beautiful. There's nothing nicer than when you open your door and that's not there. The window's down and it's just the bottom. But this is going to be quieter. It's going to seal the car better. What I'm kind of predicting the purpose of this car is in the United States is to be the ultimate daily driver for perhaps somebody with a built Chaser that's, just for special occasions or just for the racetrack. This is something, hey, if you change the oil, you take care of the differential fluid, all that jazz, this thing is going to give you like 300,000 miles. Legendary build quality, absolutely phenomenal ride. I hope, but again, it's for sale, so it's not up to me, but I hope whoever buys it just leaves it the way it is. No coilovers, no rims, none of that. Those are hubcaps, but they're, very nice hubcaps, as you can see. I'm going to show you guys, actually I want to talk about flaws. The only flaw on this vehicle, and I wouldn't call it a flaw, so to speak, the bumper and the body are a different color. Now, this faded, that didn't. Plastic and certain colors of paint react differently than metal in that same color. You could tell it's the original bumper because this is from the original Toyota dealership. It's a Toyota Vista store. If you know your Japanese dealerships, they have Toyo Pet, Vista, and Toyota stores, or they did back then. Now they have Lexus, and and they also have the Corolla store. I'm not an expert on it, but I know Vista is one type of store where you would find this model, but not necessarily other ones. So other than this little scuff right here, that going on there, and that right there, there are absolutely no flaws on the body of this car, and we'll go over the interior in a moment. Super cool feature. If you look, the bevel around the Cresta logo is gold while the face is silver. Just amazing tiny details that you got to really see the car to appreciate. One of the best trunks I've ever seen was on the JZX90 Mark II. I love the shape. This kind of reminds me of that, this line right here, and it's got this double line, which is almost like Art Deco style. It reminds me of something that you would see on some like concept car in the late 30s or early 40s. Just this double hip right here. It's beautiful. It's also important to note that this is part of the Japanese Federation of Automobiles, which is kind of like AAA, but a little bit more prestigious. And that is a really good indication that this car was owned by an old person that took really good care of it. Hey, not to put people in a box. I guess this is a positive stereotype, but old people tend to take care of their stuff better than kids. So the fact that it came with a brand new Toyota oil filter and the oil is about the color of the glass of the car, I mean, like literally like see-through with a tiny hint of gold to it. It was recently changed, which is awesome. I mean, it's my 4th JDM that came with fresh oil change and fluid changes. They just take really good care of their stuff there in Japan, and with only 40,000 miles on it, even if they didn't take care of it, it's still in good shape. But it's easy to tell that it was well taken care of, which is awesome. So one cool little JDM thing that came with it, and it's going to come with the car. By the way, I keep saying this vehicle is for sale, but I will be leaving up this video just because it's a beautiful car and I want to share it with the world. But this video is being shot on June 29th, 2022. If you're watching this video much after like September of 2022, there's a good chance it's not for sale anymore. But reach out in the comments if you want to. This is a solar-powered moisture absorber, odor eliminator gizmo. It is super cool. Again, super JDM. I've never seen one of those in the United States. I'm gonna leave it in the car. We'll walk around here. It has the crown style fender markers, as you can see, which are actually super handy. My driveway is very tight because we've got a lot of classic cars. We import cars, you know, and I find these great to tell me where my fender is when I'm putting it in a tight spot. So again, no imperfections to speak of anywhere on the front. Glass is perfect, of course, which is very important. So inside, the only imperfections to speak of is that, and there's a tiny piece of little discoloration on the mat there, which I'm very confident I could get out. But, you know, just in case I can't, I want you to know that they're there. The only other thing, this car does not smell like smoke to me. It definitely has a JDM funky smell, which if you're a JDM enthusiast, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, well, maybe buy it and find out. But I'm super sensitive to smoke. When I get in a car, you know, that's been smoked in, I could tell, and I would say this one has not. But that's a good indication that at some point somebody did have like a cigarette, maybe their hand was here and the tip fell off and melted that right there. I could get over that. I'm pretty fussy. Hopefully you can too. But if not, you could probably find this piece on Yahoo Auctions. So it's got 65,795 kilometers on it, which again is about 40,000 miles. If you're going to be a first-time JDM owner, it's pretty easy. 100 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour is about 60, which means 50 is about 30, and you can kind of ballpark it from there and hopefully not get a speeding ticket, right? Just take it easy. So this vehicle does have, whether this is a positive, a minus, or a neutral, this does have airbags both there, and it has side airbags. You know, 26-year-old airbags make me a little bit nervous, but I'm a defensive driver and hopefully, you know, everything's fine. But airbag recalls from Japan aren't going to reach the United States, so just be aware of that. Everything on it works. This screen is awesome. So I've had many JDM cars with aftermarket radios. It's very popular in Japan. It's part of their tolling system. Usually these speak in Japanese when you turn it on. This one does not. But it's the first one that doesn't put the place marker just out in the ocean. It actually thinks I'm like in Japan, but wanders around in circles kind of in this same area, which is like near a harbor, which if you know anything about the way satellite works, that's like a science fiction thing. It shouldn't even make sense, shouldn't even work, but it does. So somehow it thinks I'm in Japan. The radio is killer. So I've been using this little Bluetooth adapter, so it just goes in the radio, my phone goes to it, and then it goes to 89.9 FM because in Japan they only have 76 to 90 FM. So like my favorite station in Rochester is probably 96.5, and you know, obviously I can't get that on this radio, but whatever. Lots of, you know, little storage compartments, which is kind of cool. You know, your JDM cars typically don't always have storage compartments, which is nice. Ironically, they're less luxury cars. Like I have a 1994 Toyota Carina and there's space all over the inside, but my wife's 1992 Crown Majesta doesn't even have cup holders, and all it has for storage is the center console and the glove box. But this one has, that's an ashtray. What I do with all my cars, I take that ashtray part out and then use that little cubby as storage, and then it's got the, you know, little Cresta thing there. I don't know what it was for originally. Storage here. It's got power retracting mirrors, which, you know, is extremely handy in Japan because it's pretty tight. I wish all cars had that, even here. I'm going to show you guys in the trunk and under the hood. I did not clean under the hood. Something about soaking a 26-year-old engine in a degreaser and hitting it with a hose just makes me nervous, but it is not that dirty. So again, the legendary 1JZ, this motor's awesome. Toyota went way over the top when they engineered these. This thing can probably make 600 horsepower and be a daily driver. As it stands though, it makes plenty of power for me. I just, you know, like I just drive these things and enjoy them. So one thing going on under here you need to know about. It came with obviously a Japanese battery that wouldn't hold a charge at all. It's the exact same size as a 51R, but it has tiny posts like a Prius battery. So I widened out the terminals and this works fine. If that bothers you, you can get a battery from Japan, which would be insanely expensive, or you could just buy new terminals and, you know, splice them in. This side should unbolt. This side you'd have to splice, but the way I have it set up right now, it works great. And from this moment forward, the 51R, it's a Honda CRV or Honda Accord or Honda maybe Civic, definitely CRV, like 2007 to 11 CRV uses that battery. So super common and inexpensive. Underneath it is perfect. It doesn't leak anything. I'll show you guys the back, which is incredible. I got this kind of near Tokyo. I'll put in the comments where exactly, because it's been a while. That piece of cardboard, by the way, is my temporary floor mat. I stuck it under there for the purpose of this video, and then there it is. But as you can see, just absolutely perfect. Again, it was taken really well care of. We'll go back to underneath the hood. It's all up to date on its Japanese inspections and stuff like that, which is totally irrelevant now. But as you see these stickers, you know, this is a maintenance sticker. If you look inside there, it's had its timing belt done. It was a 100,000 kilometer service that somebody did early, because again, they take care of their stuff in Japan. And being part of the Japanese Federation of Automobiles, again, we know it was an old person that just really took care of their stuff. So looks like that's the name of the dealership that took care of it, which is kind of cool. Anyways, I'm Drew. This is a 1996 Toyota JZX100 Cresta. I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys like it. If you're watching this video, please give it a thumbs up if you like this car. Consider subscribing to the channel, because me and my wife are crazy about these things, and we import, you know, it's getting difficult because, you know, it's hard to find clean cars anywhere. But anytime we see one that's like this in Japan, I mean, I literally brought this car home, I washed it, and what you see is what you get. It's beautiful. It's even got new tires on it. They're Goodyears. While we're on this, it has a slight pulsation in the brakes, so I did a lot of research to find rotors that work, and I'm hoping to include those with the sale. But, you know, if not, I'll just get some from Japan, or, you know, if I can't do it in time, you can get some from Japan. No big deal. I mean, you have to get parts for a car like this from Japan. It just takes 2 weeks, and, you know, some things are double the cost because of shipping, but, you know, $200 for brake rotors that you're going to need every 5 years isn't a big deal compared to $100, at least not to me. But it drives perfectly other than that. Slight pulsation, again, new tires. Hopefully whoever buys this doesn't, you know, tear it up and make a race car out of it. But back to the channel. If you guys like this, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, because we try to bring over as much stuff as we can. We're going to be looking for a V12 Century. I'm going to try a Mitsuoka, and you know, just keep this hobby going. So lastly, if you're seeing this video before, I'd say September-ish, end of September 2022, and you want to buy this vehicle, just reach out in the comments. If it's still available, we can talk. You know, otherwise, hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks.